The cabin sat quietly on the edge of Pine Brook Ridge, tucked between towering pines and an old gravel road that led to nowhere but our land. My wife, Emily, and I had inherited it from my grandfather, a man who had lived through harder times than most people could imagine. To us, the cabin wasn't just wood and nails. It was a piece of family history, a retreat where memories lived in the grain of every timber. The wooden gate at the entrance had long since rotted, leaning to one side like a weary old man. Each time we visited, we worried it would collapse completely. One summer morning, Emily suggested, "Why don't we finally replace it? It'll take us a weekend at most. We can make it strong, but still rustic, just like Grandpa would have liked." I nodded, loving the way she respected tradition yet wasn't afraid to put her own hands into keeping things alive. We went to work. Emily painted while I hammered new posts deep into the soil. By Sunday evening, we had a brand new gate. Nothing flashy, just sturdy wood with wrought iron hinges. It felt right. It felt like home. But not to everyone. The very next morning, as Emily stood outside sweeping the cabin porch, a white SUV pulled up, kicking gravel into the air. Out stepped a woman in her 50s, sunglasses perched on her head like a crown she hadn't earned. She wore a stiff expression that told me she hadn't smiled in years. "Excuse me," she barked, striding up the drive. "Who authorized this gate?" Emily blinked, caught off guard. "This is our property. We just replaced the old one. It was falling apart." The woman crossed her arms. "I'm the head of the Pine Brook Homeowners Association. You can't just make structural changes without permission." My wife's face stiffened. "This is private land. Our deed goes back 3 generations. There's no HOA here." The woman's lips curved into a smirk that didn't reach her eyes. "Everything in this area falls under HOA regulation. And I will not tolerate rogue property changes that affect the look of the neighborhood." Emily tried to explain, but the woman's voice grew louder. Her tone wasn't just about rules, it was about power. She wanted control, and she wasn't going to leave until she got it. Later that afternoon, as we cooked dinner, Emily shook her head. "She's bluffing. There's no HOA here. She's just trying to scare us." But the next morning, the sound of sirens broke the quiet of the ridge. 2 police cars pulled up behind the same white SUV. And there she was, arms waving dramatically, pointing at our brand new gate. "She's calling 911 over a gate," I whispered in disbelief. Emily stood frozen on the porch steps, her eyes wide. And in that moment, I realized, this was only the beginning. The officers stepped out, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. One of them, a younger man with kind eyes, walked up first. "Ma'am, we got a call about unauthorized construction." Emily raised her hand slightly, as though she needed to prove she wasn't hiding a weapon, only a broom still dusty from sweeping the porch. "Officer, all we did was replace a broken gate. That's it. This is our property." Before he could respond, the woman, the HOA Karen, cut in. "They're trespassing. They don't belong here. This whole area is governed, and they are in violation. I demand this gate be removed immediately." The officer sighed. "Ma'am, slow down. Property disputes aren't usually a police matter. Do you have paperwork proving HOA jurisdiction?" She froze for half a second, fumbling with her purse. I don't have it on me. But everyone knows the association covers this entire ridge." Emily's voice shook, but she stood tall. "Officer, we have our deed inside. This cabin has been in my husband's family for over 70 years. There's never been any HOA." At that, the older officer stepped forward, his voice more firm. "Why don't you grab the paperwork for us, just so we're clear?" I went inside and brought back the folder my grandfather had once guarded like gold. Inside were property maps, notarized deeds, and even an old letter from the county that confirmed Pine Brook Ridge was exempt from any HOA claims. The younger officer flipped through, then looked at us with quiet respect. "Everything seems in order. You're well within your rights." Karen's face turned crimson. "That can't be right. My HOA rules are law here." The older officer turned to her, clearly losing patience. "Ma'am, without proper documentation, this is a false emergency call. Do you realize calling 911 without cause is a misuse of county resources? For the first time, her confident facade cracked. She stammered, but they don't belong here. They're not like us. Emily's voice broke the silence, calm yet cutting. You're right. We're not like you. We came here to honor family, to build something lasting. Not to control others or tear them down. The officers exchanged a glance. The younger one nodded at us before turning back to her. Ma'am, I strongly suggest you head home. Now. Karen's jaw worked as though she wanted to protest again, but instead she turned sharply, her heels crunching on gravel. She climbed into her SUV and slammed the door hard enough to rattle its frame. The silence left behind was heavy, but also freeing. Emily took my hand. Her grip was trembling. She tried to humiliate us, she whispered. She thought we were just some outsiders with no rights. I squeezed back. She has no idea who we really are. What Emily didn't know then, and what the entire community was about to find out, was that our family's history with Pine Brook Ridge went far deeper than anyone realized. And soon, when the truth came out, it wouldn't just be Karen's authority that crumbled. It would be her entire illusion of control.